Alright, and hello you beautiful, amazing people. I am so pleased that you guys want to come along this journey with me, but at the same instance, I am nervous as hell. The last few days since announcing that there was something exciting coming, my stomach's been in knots and I have not been able to eat barely at all, because hyping something up so much onto a platform where I've already built a following, and yeah, this ain't going to be polished, it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be speaking like I'm prim and proper, because how would that be unfiltered? How would that be raw? That would be me pretending to be somebody else. So you're not going to find that over here. It's going to be probably chaotica than some chaotica. Is that even a word? We make words up over here. If you're new here, Mama Sass likes her own English lessons of beautiful words that you can learn. I did write myself a little, you've got this, just be natural, be real, be honest. Let's face it, if you've been in my lives, you've heard the cars going past. You've heard, if I'm making one of these in Mr. Sassy's home, you might hear the TV screaming in the background, or little miss running amok or playing her game. This isn't where it gets, the polished stuff. This is where it gets real. So, can I just say, I'm pleased that you guys are coming along this journey with me. And yes, I do have notes, because if you know Mama Sass again, you know my brain don't remember very much. But I'm so pleased to you guys for coming along this journey with me on my first ever podcast. Seriously, mate, I'm trying to make a podcast over here. As I said, real, raw, uncut, unfiltered. Alright, you might be wondering what this podcast is about. Well, you see about 70 to 80% of my life played out either in 7-second to 10-minute TikTok clips. Or you come along and you watch my lives, which can go for hours. Like, I've done some lives, they've gone for 10-minute lives all the way through to 7 hours. I think the longest live I've ever done on TikTok was 8 hours. So you've seen my life play out. You've seen the chaos, the funny moments, you've seen it all. You've seen it all. But have you really? Have you seen everything? Have you seen the moments that the cameras shut off and I sit down and it's silent? Well, that's what you're going to see here. That's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear the thoughts and everything that goes through my mind and what I feel, along with all the stories that I've got to tell. My life hasn't been beautiful sunshine and rainbows. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and I want to bring you guys along on the raw, uncut, unfiltered journey of behind the scenes. Now, you can also get a subscription that will be coming soon of Behind Closed Doors. That's where we go even deeper. On this one, you're going to dabble your toes in a little. You're going to feel like you're with me in some sense. But if you want to know the real, raw details, you're going to want to hit the subscribe button on Behind Closed Doors. So, how did this all start for me, you're probably wondering. Well, I hope you're wondering, because I'm about to tell you. So, little miss wanted a YouTube channel. She hounded Mr. Sassy and I so much for a YouTube channel that if you know me, you know I gave in. Of course I did. Of course I gave in. So we started a YouTube channel for her, and that was going so well. And I loved creating cutting and clipping everything together and creating those YouTube videos. It was so much fun. Like I said, that page was starting to really take off, and I was like, how else can I get this out there to make this as big for her as she wants to take it? Because we all know we want to make sure our kids have got everything to achieve whatever they want in life. Alright, so I brought her over to TikTok. From there, I started posting clips of what we had posted, plus I added in some extra different trends and whatnot for the content for TikTok. That page went down, sadly. It was a very sad day. Little Miss decided after that she actually didn't want to do any of it anymore. The YouTube channel, TikTok, nothing. I think it just finally, it tore her down a little. And being the mum that I am, I was like, that's okay. You don't need to do something that you don't want to do. But I still enjoyed what I was doing. So I started a page of my own. The first few videos on that page are me wearing filters and just doing song like lip syncing, or they're a little crazy, shall I say. And then as I was scrolling TikTok, I noticed that there was like dance trends, because I'd never been on TikTok before, obviously doing that other, but I never really actually watched. But as I started scrolling, I noticed that there was dance trends and like lip syncing fun and stuff like that you could do. So I started doing that. I did that for about 2 years on there and had an absolute ball. I gained almost 10,000 followers just from creating that content. I also decided whilst I was doing that I loved to go live. So the moment that I was able to go live, I started going live. I came across some people, and let's just say some of that isn't always the funnest that I like to talk about, but we can delve into that later. Sorry, just thinking of the memories of, that might have to come behind closed doors, because that stuff gets a little juicy. Anyway, I started doing that. I did some of the rankings and all of that sort of stuff, and it was lots of fun. There was fun amongst it, which is why I kept doing it. But I did learn some very harsh lessons that really built me up to what I needed, I feel, to be able to conquer the next step of the TikTok social media journey. So I got over doing that, and then I posted this one video, and it was me standing in front of a cake that I had made. I think it was the 1st of the 1st 2025 last year, and I was standing in front of a cake that I made. If you didn't already know, I am a self-taught cake maker and had a cake making business. So I was standing in front of the camera, and I just spinned that cake, and I was like, I'm changing up my content. I'm doing a vlog page. I'm going to post what I'm doing in my life, when I'm doing it, and I don't care what anyone has to say. Like me, don't like me, follow me, unfollow me, come along for this journey. But I'm not changing or anything. I'm gonna be me. And that's exactly what I did. From that moment on, my life has just been an upward climb in my social media journey. Oh, has it been an upward climb? I have gone from almost 10,000 followers to sitting here today with 88,000 followers. I don't know where you all came from or why you're all following me, but I am very blessed. I had this other video when I started to post this content. It was just a raw, chaotic video of me doing stuff. And the comments started to come in and were saying things like, finally, something I can relate to. And I had more and more of those comments coming to my page. And I was like, what? Somebody actually wants to know me and appreciate my content? This can't be real. Like, have you seen my content? It's raw. It is raw, but obviously it's filtered for TikTok censors. My chaotic lives and videos started to take off, and I couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes. Don't get me wrong, I get a lot of hate. Probably a lot more than a lot of people with my following. And that did start to bring me down, and I was like, why? Why am I getting so much hate when so many other people do not get this hate? Especially with the following that I have. It started to get me down. And I wondered whether or not I was really actually cut out for this type of content. But that's when the inside part of me said, no, you are cut out for this. You use that as your fuel. You make sure that nobody else can ever tear you down. You take them comments, you fuel them behind you, and you make sure that you stand tall every time you put that camera on, and you show them what you're made of, because they don't get to see this side, which is a little funny, because now I've made this podcast and I'm going to show you that side. You'll, like I said, in this part of it, you'll get to dabble your feet in a little of how that makes me feel and how I use that to fuel the fire inside me to continue to press that like button. But if you want the real deep down stuff, you need to be hitting that subscribe button on behind the scenes, because that's where we get juicy. That's where it gets real, raw and fun. I will bring you guys along in that part for comments, and we'll delve real deep into that side of the life of Mama Sass. Oh, we'll delve. It's quite funny, hey? Like, so many people, as I've said, think that they know me. They think that they've heard little stories or little snippets of my life, and they know exactly who I am. You have no understanding of me. You have no understanding of my life. And yet, you still think you have a purpose in life to be able to tear people down. That's what I mean. That's what we're going to talk about on these sorts of podcasts. We're going to delve real deep. The hate, the judgment, how I feel about it, how it gets to me, what I've done to make sure that it doesn't continue to tear me apart. We're going to sit and we're going to talk about everything. Sorry, I just need to catch up a second on where I'm at. This is the area. This area, like I said, raw, uncut, unfiltered. This area is just setting the stage. Oh my lordy. So yeah, like I said, what are you going to get from this podcast? This is the real me. This is the part you don't see when the cameras close or turn off. You're going to see the highs, the lows, the messy, the funny, the chaos, and all the stories of my life. The lessons I've learned, and some just a little too real. This, as I have said a few times, is just the surface on this podcast. So if you'd like to join me in delving even deeper, make sure you're following along, because once we hit 100 followers onto the thing, or 100 viewers, we're gonna start behind closed doors. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey, and I hope you stuck it out and listened to the whole lot. Hopefully you'll leave a comment or two letting me know how you think this went. Like I said, I am so nervous, but we've got this. We can do this. And just for you guys, I've also posted another 2 videos, so you can get binging on the next one straight away. Love you all. Bye.